This is K1DBC. All stations please stand by. The DRC Learning Net will start in 5 minutes.
W0TX repeater.
This is K1DBC. The DRC Learning Net will start in 1 minute. All stations please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL off.
Good evening. This is Kilo 1 Delta Bravo Charlie. My name is Doron. I am net control for the Denver Radio Club Learning Net tonight. This is a directed net for the purpose of connecting amateurs seeking help or advice with Elmers willing to mentor. This net meets every Wednesday, except the third Wednesday of the month at 19:30 hours, 7:30 p.m. Local Mountain Time, W0TX repeaters with frequencies 145.490, which links with 448.625. Both have a negative offset and a tone of 100. This net can be broken at any time for emergency or priority traffic by using the word break. Is there any emergency or priority traffic at this time? For recognition by net control, please use your call sign. Everyone is welcome. This is an on-air meeting for amateurs seeking help and Elmers giving their time to mentor. If you have any questions for the Learning Net and don't yet have your license, or otherwise wish to contact the net, you may do so via email at drclearningnet@gmail.com. We also have a YouTube at youtube.com/WEREGR8, or if you search for W0TX DRC on YouTube, you should be able to find the live stream there, and you can ask questions on a live stream as well. We also have a private mailing list, or I'm sorry, a public mailing list, excuse me. Our groups.io is Ham Learning Net. We will begin by inviting Elmers only at this time to check in. With or without traffic, all Elmers, please check in now.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA 0 JK. Good evening.
All right, Net Control, we'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following Elmers. AA0JK, Fred, thank you for checking in. Anyone else who wishes to check in is a subject matter expert or an Elmer at this time, please do so with your call sign and your name. And let us know if you have traffic or questions. Please call now. Okay, all other check-ins to the net will be taken in alphabetical groups based on the first letter of the suffix of the operator's call sign. That would be the letter after the first number, or after the number in your call sign. So the first letter after the number in your call sign would be your suffix. Please try to use ITU phonetics as you check in and indicate if you have traffic or questions for Elmers as you do. If your suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Kilo 0 Echo Hotel Romeo, Littleton, with traffic.
Kilo Foxtrot 0 Alpha Foxtrot Quebec. I have a question. Troy.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6H JV, no traffic.
W0TX repeater.
All right, we'll hold up there for just a moment. All right, Net Control, we'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. I thought I heard one thing, but maybe we'll clear this up. I thought maybe a K0EHR Mark, and then I had I don't know if they had traffic or questions on there. Sorry about that. And then KF0AQP Troy with a question, K6HJV Tom, and there was a double in there. So that first call, can you confirm who that was? Go ahead.
Yeah, Jerome, it's Kilo Zero Echo Hotel Romeo, Mark in Littleton, and I have traffic.
Perfect. Thanks there, Mark. I thought I heard something different there, too. Perfect. Okay. If you didn't hear your call sign there, please go ahead and call back once more.
Kilo Zero Lima Alpha India, K0 LEI, Larry in Lakewood.
All right, we had K0 LAI Larry. All right, one more time. If your call suffix begins with the letters A through M, Alpha through Mike, please check in now.
Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo Rich in Arvada, no traffic.
All right. Well, Whiskey Delta Zero, Delta Oscar Kilo, Rich, I got you checked in. We're going to go ahead and open up the whole alphabet, A through Z. If you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now.
Kilo Zero Yankee Echo Sierra, Cannon Broomfield, no traffic.
Kilo Delta Zero, Yankee Papa Kilo, Mike in Littleton, no traffic.
All right, Net Control acknowledges and welcome the following check-ins, K0YES and KD0YPK. Mike, thank you both for checking in. Another call, if you'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please do so with your call sign. Let us know if you have traffic or questions. Please call now.
November 0, Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood, no traffic.
All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome and acknowledge the following check-ins. N0TRP, Jim. Okay, there'll be an opportunity to check in throughout the net. With that, we'll go ahead and throw it over to Mark, K0EHR. The net is yours.
Thanks, Jerome. Well, in the last couple of weeks, I've had a lot of fun going on around here. Just thought I'd report in. I think some of you have listened over the weeks where I've been kind of embarking into my HF career, I guess you could call it. I started out with a 40-plus-year-old Kenwood HF receiver, and then I threw up a 71-foot random wire antenna and started having fun with that. Originally, the antenna was just running across the top of my house. And about 2 weekends ago, I went in on an Airboss antenna launcher along with John, WB4HCA. We kind of split it. And I used that to launch my antenna. First of all, I lengthened it from 71 feet to 203, which gave me 80 meter and a little bit of 160 meter coverage. And then I used the antenna launcher to launch the thing over the trees. Break. So that gave me about a 50-foot elevation, and I'm kind of running it north-south, which is giving me a really nice east-west radiation pattern. And then the next thing I did is I went out and picked up an ICOM IC7300, so I'm now into this century at least as far as technology. And the two of those combined has just been revelation. The amount of QSOs that I've been able to do, and I've been doing a lot in FT8. I think I'm up to 25 countries now. So anyway, I just thought I'd report back and let you guys know, first of all, that antenna launcher works fantastically, and it's $60, and then I think they charge a fortune for shipping, so it winds up being around 80 or 90. But if you're looking for a way to get an antenna up over or through some trees, this thing works great. You just pump it up with a bicycle pump, and then it's just got a valve on it. You put a fishing reel on the end of it. It uses a lead sinker, and then you just shoot that through the tree, attach a rope to it, pull the rope back through, and attach your wire to it and pull it through. So anyway, I just thought I'd pass that along. And if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer. Back to Ned.
All right, very cool. This is K1DBC Net Control. I didn't capture what antenna you said. I saw the Airbus antenna launcher and the IC7300. What antenna did you say?
So I have it was originally a kit that I got through HRO. It was a 71-foot random wire in-fed antenna with I believe it's a 9-to-1 Unen. And I extended that from 71 to 203 feet, and then I shot it up through some trees, so it's sitting up, most of it, about 100 feet of that length, is now up about 50 feet up above ground.
Okay, great. That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, that's yeah. Antenna launching is always a lot of fun, and getting things set up, the physical side of things. That's always a lot of fun to do that. Anyone on that? Yeah, we've heard over the weeks some HF introductions and getting into it. And anybody have anything further on that? Go ahead. Okay, this is K1DBC Net Control. Yeah. So Mark, what sort of activations have you done, or what bands have you worked, or how are things looking for you?
W0TX repeater.
So during the day I've been running FT8 primarily because I can do it remotely while I'm working. Just sort of click it and let it go. And I've noticed conditions on 20 meters has been really good, kind of off and on, but especially in the afternoon lately. I think I worked 5 or 6 new countries this afternoon alone. So that's been really good. At night, it's been a little bit of 20, definitely 40 meters as well for FT8. It's been working well. And then as far as SSB, I've had good luck all the way from 80 down to mostly 80 and 40 at night. Not so much during the day, a little bit during the day, but I don't have much time. But 80 and 40 at night, 40 in particular, has been very, very busy, and it looks like conditions are definitely improving.
All right, very cool. Okay. Yeah, I had very similar, I have a G5RV antenna set up, and recently the rope I had it set up with broke, so I'm going to need to rehang that up in the air. So, yeah, I remember that being a lot of fun. So, all right, well, cool. Yeah. Anyone else on HF operations? Go ahead. Okay, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Not hearing further anything on that, we'll go and throw it over to Troy, KF0AFQ. Go ahead, net is yours.
Thanks, this is Troy. So a little bit of curiosity. It's been pretty interesting to read about the new radio on the International Space Station, and it's easy to look up information about their passes. I wonder, do you think it's, I know you'd probably need a Yagi to hit it, but should you be able to hear the downlink with a handheld, maybe with a Slim Jim? Curious to know.
I would believe so. This is K1DBC. I know that people do a lot of packet through HTs, and they're able to pass or bounce packets off of the repeater. And I haven't done it myself, but I know I always see that image of somebody holding up a Yagi with a Bofang, a couple of those. So I would imagine with an HT you should be able to hit that.
Comment?
Yeah, go ahead with the comment.
Yeah, this is Mark K0EHR again. I actually was playing with that last week using I have a J-pole antenna that's just made out of copper pipe, and I wasn't using an HT. I was using my Yaesu FTM100D, but just for receiving, that J-pole, which is just sitting up on my roof, picked up very clearly the passes. I did try to respond once. I never got a response, but if you want to imagine the traffic jam of all traffic jams, that's what's going on in like the 4 minutes that it's passing over. But I was able to receive it really clearly. So I would imagine if you were outside with a reasonable antenna and an HT, there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to hear it. And even hitting it, if you have the right antenna, I'll bet you could do that.
All right, thanks there for the follow-up. I haven't done. I really need to start doing more satellite work myself. I mean, these are just going over and over and over the planet Earth. We have no reason not to try to do it at least once a day pass to try. So I'm not too sure they're AFQ, but I know with an HT and with a pretty reasonable setup, it's really fairly easy to at least receive. And they are within line of sight, so I'm not sure how much power is required to actually transmit back to them, but yeah, I'll go ahead and throw it back to you, Troy. Go ahead.
KF0AFQ. Yeah, thanks for the input, guys. I'll take another shot. Looks like it's coming by tonight at about 8:42, but not very high over the horizon, 12 degrees. But I'm going to give it a shot. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate the well wishes and the confidence to give it a run. Thanks.
All right, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Yeah, thank you for the question there, Troy. Anyone else on that? Any satellite work or HF work or anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now.
Hi again, K0EHR one more time. Yeah, I just remembered one other thing that I think is unique about the space station. A lot of times when you're doing satellite work, I know you should have like a Yagi that's got both polarities in it because the satellites are rotating, so the polarization is always rotating along with it. But what I heard about the space station is that it doesn't rotate. It sort of just tracks across the sky, and so vertically polarized antenna, which my J-pole is, of course, will work just fine. So that's one thing that I did learn that's unique about the ISS, so just in case it helps. Back to net.
All right, perfect. Thank you there, Mark, for the follow-up on there again. Absolutely. All right, this is Daron, K1WC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments, any further check-ins, anything else for the net you'd like to bring up? Please call now. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I know as weeks are dragging on in this year, I'm getting a little bit tired, and everyone's getting a little bit tired, but hopefully everyone's feeling okay. We're going to make it through this year as much as we can, and we'll keep going. With that, I'll throw it out again. Anyone else have anything they'd like to speak about on this net this evening? I have a few things I can pass, but any other comments, questions, any other check-ins, anyone else? Please call now.
Kilo 0, Kilo Papa Sierra, K0 KPS, Kevin, late check-in.
November 0, Echo Yankee Zulu, Jim, Lakewood, late check-in.
W0TX repeater.
KI0 ID.
All right, Net Control, I'd like to welcome Knowledge Phone check-ins. K0 KPS, Kevin, N0 EYZ, Jim, and KI0 ID, Clay. Thank you all for checking in. All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control. Anyone else at the moment? Otherwise, I can pass a few things here myself. I've brought up the QRP CW kit that I had been speaking about. I guess this doesn't capture my mouse, but if you're looking on screen here, in the past there was a BNC connector that I needed to unsolder and move over, and I finally was able to remove all of the solder as much as I could with solder wick, and then just use more heat to finally get all of the pins out and just get the part out. It looked relatively okay. I don't think it's working correctly. I don't have a BNC to UHF converter or a BNC antenna or anything to try, but when I plug in an audio cable into the headphone jack, it doesn't sound good. But I'll need to try and keep going on this. But yeah, if you haven't heard of it, it's the Pixie Kit, PIXIE .com, and it's about 40 components that you solder on. So I'm just looking at the chart here. I went through and measured all the resistors, and still just could not get it to work, but still working on it. Alright, let's see what else we have here. Something that made some news here recently was a second-hand television, older television, wiping out broadband for a village, and it was due to RF interference. So a whole village in England, Aberhausen near in Wales. Let me see, and it was happening for months. And it turns out that somebody came along, or the network, the ISP came along with a spectrum analyzer and found that some resident was turning their television on every day at 7 a.m. and it attributed the cause to taking down their, I don't know if it was wired or wireless, I don't know, but it was electrical interference, quite heavy nonetheless. Okay, yes, it was for ADSL. It's a DSL telephone service in these rural areas that only had ADSL, and it's apparently this type of rain or shine, REIN, electrical device results in disconnects or line errors, prevent connection being used at all. Shine is where it generates a burst, a device is powered on, results in disconnect. So one of these had something to do with it. So these older ADSL services are prone to this kind of interference. A couple of weeks ago, I had brought up a Twitter post. I'll have to bring that up again here, but it was of Bob Widler. And if you're on, let's go away here. I'm trying to bring up the page now, but oh, here it is. This is a post from Autodesk.com, and he's father of linear integrated circuit pioneer and personality of the A702, 09, LM100, 101, and they have a pretty interesting read on him and some of the advertising that went on during those days, during those heydays. So during the 60s and 70s. What some of the semiconductor companies would do, and just a lot of cool kind of retro electronic engineering, and a lot of cool insight here. So if you want just more info, Bob Widler, or Widler, WIDLAR, you can see a post of him on Autodesk here, and a pretty funny looking photo of him just kind of flipping the bird during an advertisement. Twitter post that I had shown before. I'm bringing it up on screen here. It's from National Semiconductor, and another bird there, but just an interesting advertisement that a semiconductor company might have had, or would have had, in the 60s or 70s. Alright, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I don't have too much more at the moment. I'm sure I can dig a couple things up, but we still have a good portion of the net. If anyone has anything they'd like to pass, any traffic questions, comments. Again, this is on YouTube. This is where I'm showing those those photos. YouTube.com/WEREGR8. Or if you just search on YouTube for W0TX or DRC, you're you should be able to find my channel. My name is Daron, and if you just click on it, you should be able to see the live stream there, and you can go back there and see past nets as well as this net. All right, anyone else have any other traffic, any questions, anything else, please call now. It's always good news over on RTL-SDR, Romeo Tango Lima Sierra Delta Romeo.com.
W0TX repeater.
Looking at a headline here of combining imagery, satellite imagery, into one composite image from several different country level, government level weather satellites. So the GOES is the geostationary satellite here, the geostation operational environment and satellite. It's for the NOAA's satellite constellation. He's bringing things in here from the Hamari. I can't even pronounce any of these. Let's see who this is from here. It appears to be a Japanese weather satellite, and then he's using another one as well. So using all of that imagery and data, you can just harvest all of that data and combine it into a real image that you have been able to gather from satellites yourself live. So pretty neat. Looking at a comparison of the Kiwi SDR against the Raspberry SDR clone. It's a SDR that has 14-bit wide receive, 32 megahertz of bandwidth. It can receive the entire 10 kilohertz to 30 megahertz spectrum all at once. It doesn't connect to a PC directly. So just comparison of some clones here, and ethics of development and things like that. So if you ever have any want or need to get into some pretty cool things there, there's always some pretty cool tools there. Pretty good primer of how to decode weather satellites in general, of transferring audio from one program to the other, and this can all be done with a pretty simple, cheap $20 software-defined dongle, and then just a computer and piping audio between programs. Just a lot of weather satellite things going on right now.
Correction?
Yeah, go ahead with the correction.
Yeah, I believe you had me down as W0 DOK. It's WD6 DOK. Thank you.
Gotcha, Rich. WD6DOK. Got that corrected. No problem.
Thank you.
All right, this is K1DBC, Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Does anyone else have any other comments, questions, check-ins, anything else you'd like to pass for the net? Please call now.
Late check-in?
Sure, go ahead.
Whiskey Bravo 4, Hotel Zulu Alpha, John in Lakewood.
All right, KB4 HCA, John, got you checked in.
That was Whiskey Bravo 4 HZA. Just a correction on that area. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Whiskey Bravo for Hotel Zulu Alpha. All right, this is Daron, K1 DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Anything else anyone would like to speak about? Electronics, ham radio related, anything in regards to hobby, anything you'd like to bring up or speak about? Please call now.
Clarification.
Yeah, go ahead with the clarification.
Yes, Jerome, you were talking about, was that a raspberry that was used as a weather receiving system or something of that nature?
So there was one thing I was talking about that I said Raspberry Pi. This was a software-defined radio in general. This is a basic Raspberry Pi, kind of a clone of another one. This is quite a lot of things. I really don't know what this device is. It's basically a software-defined radio, a pretty beefed up software-defined radio. In regards to the weather, that's something you can easily do with an SDR or a Raspberry Pi and one of those USB software-defined radios. Go ahead if there was something else on that.
No, I was just curious. Years ago, there was a weatherfax or something like that. I can't remember, a receiver that you could buy that would downlink the weather maps and so forth. And I was just wondering if it was something like that. I talked to those people not too long ago, and I guess there's no use in that particular system anymore. I happen to have one of the receivers, and I was just curious. So that's why I was wondering if it was, you said a raspberry, and maybe I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. This is Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo.
All right, this is K1 DBC Net Control. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on and being transmitted out there. I know there's some weather maps and things like that. Definitely, I think more for aeronautical or for marine. And I think there was one post I saw where there's in the Japanese area, you can find weather maps like this, or I've seen there's this weatherfax here that I'm looking at here. But then there's also, like, NOAA basically transmits from their satellites images that you can receive through, it requires a software-defined radio, but then you can use a Raspberry Pi, something as simple as a Raspberry Pi, in order to receive that kind of stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I got the YouTube channel up, and I can see what you're looking at anyway. So I'll take a look at it later. But it looks like it's somewhat similar to what I was thinking about. Thank you. Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo.
All right, sounds good. Absolutely. Yep. Another opportunity for satellite work. I mean, this you don't even have to be an operator or have a ham radio license to receive these signals and process them and figure out what's going on. So there's a lot out there in the world. So it's pretty cool to be able to listen and figure out what's out there.
W0TX repeater.
All right, this is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Does anyone else have any other comments, questions, late check-ins, anything you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now.
WW0LF.
WW0LF, Orland, got you checked in. Thank you for checking in.
Okay, Doran, I heard you guys talking about something about picking up weatherfax, something about different receivers. I wonder what that line of thought was.
This is K1DBC Net Control. You know, I've just run across things on the internet where I've seen people have somehow received some sort of weatherfax images. I've not known how to do that or if it's something that would even be transmitted in this area, but I know that like NOAA transmits things from their satellites, but I've seen somehow people have been receiving some things. So it's not anything that I really know too much about. If you know more about it or have anything on that, go ahead.
Okay, well, first of all, the frequencies they're using, the VHF frequencies, are in the 137 megahertz range. You can receive them on a regular ham type rig if it'll tune to that frequency. And you can use a Raspberry Pi, or there's software for regular computers, you know, that you could get the things, print them out, everything. It's quite a interesting thing. In fact, there's a whole book about weather satellites and picking up the signals. Today, it's quite easy. The big problem you run into is the normal ham rigs. The filtering, IF filtering, is too narrow to pick up that fairly wideband signal. So you have to either bypass it. That's why people are using the SDR receivers, because they can control the passband a lot better. But they did make specialized receivers. Vanguard was the big company that made them, and they were used to really, you know, guys had them dedicated to picking up the signals. It's a whole interesting thing, but it'd take hours to explain the whole works. This is WW0LF.
All right, thank you there, Orland, WW0LF. This is K1DBC. Yeah, I'm just finding better search terms in here. There's this thing called wefax, WEFAX, weatherfax. It looks like it's HF, weatherfacsimile, slow scan, analog image, press images, weather charts, newspaper, meteorological reports. I think Kyoto News apparently still transmits things, Japanese newspaper there. And I think there's some HF things, and so yeah, there's quite a lot on that. Very, very cool. Yeah, a lot more investigation needed on that.
Yeah, if you happen to have an old PK232, the older versions of that, you can tune in on the HF frequencies with that also, and it's got a direct output that you can run right to a printer. Unfortunately, it's an old Centronics port that the to feed an old parallel printer, so you have to do a little bit of modifications to make things work with modern printers. But anyhow, yeah, there's an entire book on it. ARRL puts out on weather satellites and weatherfax and all this other fine stuff. But they also have microwave frequency. It's up on 1.6 gigahertz, I believe. I'd have to look that up. I haven't picked up any of that stuff in probably 15 years.
Very, very cool. Yep. Nowadays you can buy a $20 to $30 software-defined dongle, plug that in USB to your computer, and then plug in. It probably has a mini SM or SMA connector on it, and then you can break that out to what you want, and then you basically use that on your computer, and you can transfer the audio from that to some programs that can demodulate it and convert that audio signal into images, and it'll just convert it right there. So it's we're in a crazy day nowadays.
You know, I just grabbed a copy of the Weather Satellite Handbook here, see if I can come up with some better information for you. Oh boy. See, this is the 5th edition. I've got the 1st edition through the 5th edition here. They've got a lot of the stuff. Actually, the 5th edition, I'm trying to find out when it... all right, it's copyright 94. So, in ham radio years, that's almost BC.
All right, yeah, no problem. Don't worry about it. Yeah, if you find something, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. Yeah, that's there's a lot of stuff you can do, and a lot of audio signals you can receive out there and decode. And people are one of the other stories on RTL-SDR.com was somebody created a demodulator for a weather satellite. They went through the process of or a decoder, a process of creating the software to demodulate and decode the signal from a satellite. So there's a lot of citizen science going on around here, and really, really cool.
Okay, that's something that probably would be worth some in-depth discussion and research at a future date. I just heard it I was sitting in my office here and heard it out of my ear corner of the radio, sitting here, and I just figured I'd stick my nose in and make some comments about it. I used to download the stuff quite a bit. Now you can actually get it on your computer just as quickly.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, no problem. Chime in anytime, absolutely. Yep, and you can get all that stuff kind of without needing to go through that, but it's pretty cool to be able to understand and do that on your own. So very, very cool.
Okay, I'll drop out. WW0LF.
Delta Oscar Kilo.
Yeah, Delta Oscar Kilo. Rich, go ahead.
Yeah, I was wondering if the other station is familiar with an A&A Engineering satellite receiver, if he's ever used one, or if he knows if it's available, if it still could be used to download weather data. Delta Oscar Kilo.
Okay, let's see. I see an ad for it from A&A Engineering. The design's at least 25 years old, maybe a little more. And essentially, it's a decoder, weatherfax decoder that connects between. It says it connects between your HF or satellite receiver and a computer line printer port, which is what I was just talking about with the PK232. Same kind of thing. Looks like this one is, I don't know. I don't have all the information on it here, but evidently uses the Dr. Taggart's WB8 DQT's software, which is he's the guy that wrote the Weather Satellite Handbook. So, yeah, it probably would still work. They're still using those frequencies, but you still have to have a receiver, and one of those dongles would probably be just great for that.
Okay, thank you. So it'd be worthwhile trying to mess around with it and see if you can get some data downloaded then. Does that sound right?
Yeah, it would be. The only problem is that today you can just take that output, that signal output, and using software in a regular computer, you know, decode everything that ANA unit would do. It's all done in the computer now. It used to be that what it did is that unit did the decoding and printed out to a parallel port. And like I said, today the computer does the same thing. You just hook up your USB port going into the computer. It controls the radio, take the audio, and do a virtual audio patch to your sound card, and go from there.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate the info. Whiskey Delta 6 Delta Oscar Kilo.
WW0LF.
LAI.
All right, sounds good there, Orlin, WW0LF. Yeah, that's a good description of it. You take the audio from your radio, whether it be from a SDR dongle or from your radio that you have now, and then you use some software to pipe it over to different other software that can convert things into your images and whatnot. I'm clicking through a million things, but what I'm looking for here. But LAI, Larry, go ahead.
This is K0LAI. Just in case somebody was interested, at dxzone.com, if you look at weatherfax, they have all kinds of software there that's for decoding these weather faxes that Orlin was talking about. And so there's all kinds of software there, and I think most of it's free. So if someone's interested in at least maybe hooking up their radio using the sound card on the either on a signal link or on your computer to convert and decode these weather faxes, it certainly can be played with now without a major investment. It's K0LEI back to net.
K0LAI, this is K1DBC, absolutely. Yeah, thank you for reiterating that. Yeah, a lot of that is done in software, and a lot of that software is free. It is just, it takes a little bit of just a research of trying to, getting that audio piping from one source into something else, and just kind of grasping the concepts of how to get things moving back and forth. But once you do that, there's a whole world out there of audio that you can decode and sift through, and there's a lot of stuff out there. Okay, this is K1DBC, net control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. We're getting near the end here. But does anyone have any other comments, questions, further check-ins, anything else you'd like to bring up for the net? Please call now. All right, one more call. This is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. Does anyone else have any other comments, questions, any other late check-ins for the net? Please call now. Alright, I'm just looking for anything else I can pass here in the last couple minutes. I'll give another call. Anyone else? Any other last minute check-ins, comments, questions, anything you'd like to bring for the net? Please call now. Alright, this is K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. With that, I'll go ahead and start to wrap things up, and I'll do one last call after that, just for any final check-ins. This is Daron, K1DBC Net Control for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. I'd like to thank everyone for checking in this evening. We had a total of 15 check-ins. Please check us out on w0tx.org for more info. Let me pass some more info on our club. No topic presentation yet announced, but next presentation is going to be October 21st, 7 p.m. There will be a Google Hangout, Google Meet link on the website, w0tx.org for more info on that, and more info on our club repeaters and everything that's going on with the club. Again, we're also on YouTube, currently on my personal YouTube channel, WERE, GR8, Whiskey Edward Romeo, Edward Golf Romeo 8. You can also search for W0TX or DRC on YouTube, and you should see live stream as well as all the past things that we've done here recently. We're also on groups.io/G/ham learning net for material on past net topics. With that, I will take last final check-ins. Just for the count for the Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net, please call now. Okay, thank you all for being here. As mentioned, October 21st is going to be our next meeting, 6:30 p.m. for an Elmers session. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. for an Elmers session prior to the regular scheduled Denver Radio Club meeting at 7 p.m. We'll be on the Google Meet on there. It's going to be online. Again, if you want to host this net at any time, please don't ever hesitate to reach out to me, and you can go back through the YouTube and kind of see how it goes, and feel free to let me know. I'm always happy to help. Everyone is also welcome to that meeting. You don't even have to be a ham radio operator to the regularly scheduled meeting, on the third Wednesday of the month, all online, so everyone is welcome to that. Please join us next week at 19:30 hours, 7:30 p.m. for the next Denver Radio Club Ham Learning Net. All stations, please stand by while the repeaters are placed into net mode.
PL on.
All right, thank you all for being here. Hope to hear you all next week. 7 through to all. I am clear. K1DBC. I'm sorry, very last minute thing here. There was a last minute check-in here on YouTube. I apologize. KF0AEY Patrick. If you're still here, I got you checked in. Again, K1DBC clear.